Okay, so this was the formula that we used, okay, for number 71. So we had the pi r squared h. Okay, and on the question, number 71, I'm just saying this because it was, yeah. The volume of a cylinder can is 87.92 inches cubed. If the diameter is 4 inches, find the height. So you're solving for h. Okay, and then they wanted us to use the 3.14. So this is the answer. So this is really the volume. Okay, that was the formula that we're using. And they told us what the volume answer was. They gave us what 3.14 for pi, and then they told us to use 2 for the radius, and then we were just solving for h. So plugging it into the equation and then isolating the variable. Okay. We good on that one? Okay. So number 72. Okay, this time it says find the exact volume of the right cylinder. When they say that, pi goes on forever, so that's not exact. Okay, so they want you to leave it in terms of pi. So anytime you see that, they don't want you to multiply it times 3.14. Okay, because it's not an exact answer. We just round to 3.14, but that's not actually what pi is. It goes on forever, so you can't get an exact answer. So we're going to leave this one in pi. Okay, so what formula are we going to use on this one when they want volume of cylinder?
Pi r squared.
Okay. Okay, so pi r squared h. Okay, did they give us, so we're leaving pi, did they give us r?
Yes.
Which is what?
3.
3. Okay, so if we went all the way across, instead of the halfway, what would I do with it to find r? Divide by 2. Okay, so they gave me, I'm just going to write this off the side. They gave me r, because we're leaving this one alone, because they want us to leave that alone and not simplify it out. So r was 3. Did they give us h?
Yeah.
Yes. So h is 11. So this is number 72. Okay, so now we're just plugging it into our formula. So we're solving for b. So pi, we're leaving alone. We're not going to plug in anything for that. So r squared, so we're going to have 2 squared times 11.
3.
So that's going to be 4, right? Or 3, sorry. 3. 2 is left. So that will be 9. Okay, so last step, because we're leaving it in terms of pi, all that you could do would be to combine those two. Okay, so volume is, and usually it's just like variables, you write the number before, okay? So this would be 99.5. It's not wrong, it's just proper ways, number before the symbol. So that's leaving it an exact answer, because we don't want to multiply out the pi. Fairly easy, yeah? I mean, as long as you know which formula you're using. I'll probably have them on the board. Not expecting you to memorize all these. Okay, 74. Jumping, because 73 is a repeat of 71, so I want you to try that one on your own. 74. See if you can figure out what formula we're using out of our formulas. Okay, what'd you say? Up a little bit louder.
4, 5.
No, close. Well, yes, we are eventually. 4 pi r squared. So yes, you were right on that. But on 74, we don't have enough information because we need to know the r, right? And so notice on 74 we don't have an r. So we have to use the other formula before we can do that to solve for r, to finish yours. Did we put it over there or we leave it here?
No.
Oh, you put it in the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have to do like a warm-up thingy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're fine. So we actually have to start with this one. We have to start with this one because we need to solve for our R. Okay, we have to figure out what our R is to be plugging it back in. Okay, so they told us the answer to the volume. What is the volume? Okay, so 972 pi. Okay, everybody has that in there, okay? And when I'm setting it, so I just replaced this. I'm setting this equal to what the formula is, so I can isolate and solve. Okay, so left side and right side, we're crossing off things, okay? So if I have a pi off this side, to get rid of it, it would be divide by pi, right? Well, technically, if I divide by pi, they just cancel each other out. So I'm not going to show it. We're just going to say that if I divide it, it would go away. It cancels it. It would leave a 1, but that's not going to change. Okay? So now I need to get r by itself. So to get r by itself, this is 4/3 r cubed, and we've got 972 on the other side. To get this to the other side, this is times. Opposite of times is divide. And when I divide with a fraction, I flip it. Okay? So when I take this over to the other side, it's like the reciprocal is the word that you use. Okay? We're going to flip it to get the r by itself. Okay, so in your calculator, you're going to go 3 times 972, get that answer, and then divide it by 4. 729? Okay, so that's right. So now I have, and we're going to use this one, but we're going to have r to the third equals 729. Got it in the middle of my board jumps. Okay, to get r by itself, it's cubed. So when it's squared, when I take it to the other side to do the opposite, we take the what? What's opposite of squared? Square root. So when this is cubed, we're taking the cube root. Okay, so this gets rid of just that part, but it still leaves the r. But when I do one side, I've got to do the other side. Okay, so calculator, remember all our calculators are a little bit different to get the cube root. I don't know which calculator you have. 9. So 9 times 9 times 9 ends up giving me 720. Okay, so now I can plug into this one. Okay, so what would I do with my 9? Square. So 9 times 9 would be 81. Okay, so this became 81. And then we've got the pi. So now you're just going left. Actually, this one I think they have you read it in terms of pi. They do. So I'm going to have to clarify because they didn't clarify on this one. The answer key, they have them left in pi. So I'm going to have to let you know which ones you're leaving in terms of pi. So this one we're going to leave in terms of pi. So all you're going to do is go 4 times 81. Okay, so 4 times 81 would be 324. Right. Okay, so A equals 324. So that will be your longest ones. I think it is longest and hardest ones, I think. But as long as you have a sample, you'll just do the same steps, just change your numbers. Okay, going to 75. Okay, looking at 75. Let's see if you guys can figure out which one of those 4 formulas we're going to use. On a cone, what are we going to use? Good. Yeah. So I just want to make sure you guys know about this. So pi r squared h over 3. Okay, so we're looking to see if they've given us all the stuff. Did they give us radius? No, they gave us what? Diameter. So you said we do what to get radius? Divide by 2. Okay, so we've got to take that 16 divided by 2 to get us, because this was the diameter. It's off. Okay, and that'll give us radius. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. Okay, so I'm plugging in 8. Got that part. Okay, did they give me h? Yes, which was what? 11. And so I've got 11 over 3. Did they tell us what to use for pi? Yeah, so this one obviously we're not going to have pi here. So 3.14. So we have everything we need. We just need to do our order of operations. Okay, so order of operations would be the exponent first. Okay, so 8 times 8, 90 times 2. So that would be 64. Okay, now you're going to go left to right with the multiplication. Okay, so you're going to go this times this times this, and then divide by 3. So 3.14 times 64 times 11, and then divide by 3. Not going to get an exact answer. So tell me where you get. Okay, the 3 repeats, right? Okay, so on here on number 75, it says round to the nearest cubic foot. So what they want is the whole number. So you're looking at this number, just the one that's next to it, and so that would round up to 737 is what they're wanting. Good? Let's see a confusion look.
Well, I got the right answer, but I'm like one decimal spot over. Like I have 73.6. I don't know. I probably could have. So I don't know how I did that. Like 43, 44, so probably.
Okay, 76 is our next one. Okay, so if a spherical balloon has a diameter of 22 inches, what is the volume to the nearest cubic inch? And that actually, we won't leave it in terms of pi. So what are we using for this one? Okay, good. So wait, 4/3 pi cubes. There we go. Okay, so 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, did they give us radius? No, they gave us diameter. So we divide by 2, so the radius is 11. Okay, so and they tell us to use 3.14. So we have everything that we need. So we're going to use 3.14. And then the radius we just determined was 11. Okay, so what do I need to do first? Right. So 11 times 11 times 11. Some of you have a button that cubes it for you. Okay, so times that, it times 3.14 times 4, and then divide by 3. 0.453. Okay, now this is the catch. I did it out too. I always do them out to make sure that the answer I'm getting the same thing too. Technically, mathematically, when you have this, you would be looking at these numbers as well. Like this number would round this one up to a 5, which would make this one round up, but they didn't. So what they're doing on all the answers is they're looking at just the one that's next over, like the last one, okay, to determine whether or not you round up or not. So since this is a 4, without looking at this, since this is a 4, you don't round that up. If it was a 5 or higher, then I would have rounded that up like we did in my previous one, okay? So you're just writing this. And again, if we're off by 1, I'm not going to, just make sure you, like when I say the answer's out, if they're off by 1, I'll let it go. As long as you get close to that. Okay, so let's see, we did say. Okay, so forward up. Okay, 82. I just want to make sure I covered samples of each one of them. And this one had a fraction, so I want to make sure I cover that. And then we'll come back to it. What are we using on 82?
Oh, wait, we have to.
Okay, our volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, they gave us radius, but we don't don't like that or the mixed fraction. Okay, we want to change it into an improper fraction, so it's easier just to multiply across and divide by that number. Okay, so when you have, because this is the radius, how do I change that into an improper fraction? Good. Okay, so times and then add, right? So 5 times 2 would make it 10, 11, 12. So it's really 12 over what? 5. Okay. Okay, did they tell us to use pi? Express the answer as in terms of pi. So we need pi. Okay. Good up there. Okay, so we're really ignoring the pi right now. So flash back to when we did exponents. When this is being cubed, it means the 12 is being cubed and the 5 is being cubed. Okay, so you're going 12 times 12 times 12, which gives you, and then 5 times 5 times 5, which is 5. Okay. This is still here, okay, but I'm just ignoring it just so we can get to that point. I'm just bringing this. Okay, so now you're going this times this divided by what this times this is. So this times this gives you 6,012, and then the bottom one gives you 375. Okay, now some of you have really nice calculators that change this back into a mixed number. Okay. Others of you don't. You probably got 18 points and it gave you a decimal, right? Okay, so I'm showing you how to figure that out. So we know it's going to be a whole number. That 18 is going to give you that whole number. You just need to figure out what that fraction is. Okay? So when we do this, if you don't have a calculator that figures out fractions for you, if you go 18 times 375, 18 times 375, what'd you get? Okay, so now I need to subtract that from here. Okay, so I'm subtracting 6,750, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. What was that? Okay, so really this is 162 over 375. Okay, but this reduces. Okay, so then you divide by it, and it ends up being divided by 3. So we can just save some time to simplify it. Okay, so it's 18 and 54 over 125. Some of you will catch it here, which will save you some time if you can go that into that. Remember you flashback, cancel, simplify it, cancel it. But if you don't, then I want to make sure that you. It's 4 can't go into 125, but 3 does go into 17.8, which would help you get to the 54. Okay, so that is our answer. Oh, and pi. Sorry, we forgot about pi. I left that out. Because they wanted left in terms of pi. Okay, last one. Number 80. What one are we using? Number 80. 80. Right. Okay, so pi r squared is 3. Okay, did they give us pi? What do they want us to use for pi? They didn't. But we are going to use 3.14 because it says round your answer to the nearest 10, so we're not leaving it in terms of pi. So 3.14. Okay, did they give us r, which is 3? Did they give us h? 10. Got everything we need to know. We just need to do our order of operations. Okay, so 3 squared is going to be 9. Okay, so we're just going straight across, so 3.14 times 9 times 10, whatever that answer gives you, then hit divide by 3. Yeah. And they said to leave it on the tenths, right? And they'd answer to the nearest tenth. Okay. So, if you were writing on your paper, you know which ones you did. If you wrote it on a separate sheet of paper, so crossing off in your notes, you're going to cross off 71, 72, 74, 75, 76, 80, and 82. So 71, 72, 74, 75, 76, 80, and 82. Okay. Have at it.